Alright, moving onward. Hood is off the car. Excuse me. And I'm scuffing it up. The underside of the hood I am going to cut in with base coat and no clear. Just put some activator in the base coat and that'll be that. And then we got the bumper. Here's the bumper repair. I basically have to finish sanding this. This is almost done with 600, and then I'm going to probably run over this whole thing with one of my Eagle 800 pads and scuff it up. Now notice, this is dirty down here, but this is gray textured plastic and it gets masked off in here, so we have to mask off this opening. But that turned out good. I had a little rough area right there. I spotted that in. That's got epoxy underneath it. So I kind of like doing it this way because the epoxy doesn't sand as quick as the 2K does. So once you feather your epoxy, or excuse me, the 2K out into the epoxy, you know that you're doing pretty good. Now, I know I still have some scratches in this, but I'm letting it set for a couple more hours here. This did sit overnight in a 60-degree shop. So hopefully we hold them down, but I still see a couple in there, and I'll re-guide coat it and do it. Now you can put the heat lamp on this, the infrared. The only problem is if you get it too hot, that bumper repair material will start to come off of this bumper. So you don't want to get it 150 or 60 degrees, 100 to 120. Normally these panels, even a black panel in the sun, probably only hit about 140. Of course, unless you're in the desert, then I'm sure it could get hotter. But I wanted to show you what I'm prepping this with. Red Scotch pad, and this is a 320, just soft pad. So we'll do a little prep work here. This is going to get one coat of epoxy as a sealer. You could use a regular 2K sealer on this, do it however you want. I'm just going to do epoxy because I'm going to epoxy the bumper, because I have had so many problems with the primer on those bumpers that I don't even want to talk about it. So once in a while you get away with just regular 2K on the bumpers. Just depends on where they came from. I don't think this one came from LKQ, but again, I have no idea. I'm pretty sure it swam all the way from Hong Kong Fooey. But after letting that bumper sit on the car for a day or two, it relaxed down and the fit is much better. I really had to fight to get it on there. But basically, I mean, there's a lot of ways you could do this. You really can't get a DA in here, the sand on it. And plus, you'd probably have so many cut throughs that it wouldn't even be funny. Thanks everybody for the comments on the Duramax update video. I had a bunch of inquiries and actually had one over the weekend wondering how that one's holding up, and no rust. So I'm still happy with that job. So just letting everybody know, if you take your time and do the best you can get some time out of it. It's been almost 4 years on that truck. One thing that I do when I mount a new hood, if it doesn't have welded on hinges, you can see these are bolted on. And this particular car has a hinge bolt right here that bolts into a hinge that's on the fender. And what I do, you can actually reach this because the cowl doesn't completely cover it up. I put blankets over the fenders and then take this bolt out after I put the new hood on. This one happened to come with removable new hinges. The old ones were bent, which is perfect. I got it adjusted where I wanted it. The gaps are good. I don't want to move these bolts again. Now it's going to be a pain to scuff all this in here to get paint on it, but that's another reason I use epoxy, is because it really bites pretty good. And as long as you follow your recoat window times, you're not going to have any major problems with it. That, and don't let your shop get down to 40 degrees for at least the first 24 or 48 hours. You want to keep it about 65 or better for that epoxy to cure. Otherwise, that's where you get problems with adhesion and peeling down the road. But I was able to take this off by blanketing the fenders, taking these bolts out from the pivot and walking it off the vehicle. Now this is about the biggest hood I want to take off by myself. I certainly will not reinstall it by myself. I will have a helper, a buddy, whatever you got, and put it back on that way, because the fenders are going to get blended too, and I don't want to damage those and then have to rework them before I paint. This hood is going to get painted on the vehicle. But I will bring you back in a little bit here, because new hoods, even factory hoods sometimes, they don't seam seal this gap right here where the hem is from the outer to inner panel. I do, and I will just run a bead along that and either smear it with my finger or take an acid brush and just brush it out. It doesn't matter what it looks like, it's on the inside, but it's just one way to keep rust, if you do get some, or water from peeling out of the seam. Some guys don't seal them, I do. I guess it's a matter of preference, so we'll show you that when it's time to seam seal. Alright, seam sealer time on this hood. We're going to use this stuff right here, Fuser 123 Easy. This is 2-part seam sealer, and we're going to seal inside this hem. You don't need a lot, just a little bit. Like I said before, some people don't even do this, that's fine. And then I will go along and smooth this out with my finger, and whatever it is what it's going to be. This whole hood has been scuffed down to 320. There's no bare metal in this seam either. So we'll just do the first seam and show you guys how I do it. I'm probably blocking the camera here, but you're going to see what I got and what I have when I'm done. I think you guys can see what's going on here. So that's kind of what we got. I'll just keep a rag in my hand. If you get too much buildup, just wipe it off on a towel. This stuff sets pretty doggone quick, so you don't want to mess around too much. Of course, I don't want it out on the front edge of the metal, but that's what you got right there. So I'll bring you back when it's time to throw some sealer. Alright, it's time for sealer. I'm going to spray that with my base coat gun here, Techna Pro Light. I bounce between this gun and my SATA 3000 HVLP. So this is just a sealer coat of epoxy. some base coat.